What's up, Buttercups? It's me, Amy Young. I'm coming at you with a Friday freestyle and another exercise-induced epiphany. That's right, I'm becoming just another fucking person on the internet talking about their GD workout habits. Like sort of joking and sort of not. I don't want to suddenly become like a workout focused Transformation Tuesday basic, you know, because it's not my jam. Although, you know, like there's a time and a place for that too. I just think we're so oversaturated. I'm like, I don't need to see, I don't care what your bum looked like 6 months ago, and I don't really care what it looks like today. Like, whole other video, not even what I wanted to talk about. Once you get me started, once you pop, I don't stop. My exercise-induced epiphany. So I went for a run. My first time running in over a year, because we all know I tore my meniscus. I've been really freaked out about like doing anything. But I'm back at it again. Like, damn, Daniel. And I was so impressed with myself because I ran a full 5K. I mean, I took little walkie breaks, but I was so excited. And as I was running, this is what I was most fascinated by, is I tuned into the thoughts I was thinking and my little inner dialogue, you know, the little voices that we hear as we're just going about our day, thinking things, doing things. And it sounded so supportive and cheerleadery and positive. And I was like, this is a new fucking experience, because I have always had an on and off relationship with running because I find it to just be kind of boring. Like people who run marathons, I'm like, so you've just become really good at doing a boring thing. Like that's like, people are like, oh man, they gotta have so much stamina. I'm like, no, you just need to be okay with fucking being bored for like 6 hours. Because running, I just don't find that fascinating. But when I used to run before, or at least, you know, I haven't run for a year, so years passed, I was always a real bitch to myself. Like I didn't even really notice it until I noticed the shift in this run, where suddenly I was like, you're doing great, look at you, you're running, you haven't run in so long and your chest is burning and you love it, it feels so good. If you need to walk, slow down, girl, oh my gosh, yeah, take it easy, grab a sip of water. Oh man, yeah, let's do another half mile. Like I was like, who is this person in here who's being so positive and wonderful? Because the old voice used to be like, fucking fat ass, lift up your knees. Everybody thinks that you're slow. Oh my God, you can only run 3 miles. You could only do you should be able to run a lot. You know, other people run a lot more and they run a lot faster than you. Your chub's probably hanging out. Ugh, like mean, nasty stuff. No wonder I didn't like running, because when I would run, there was like this mean girl who'd just come out and be a real bitch nasty to me. So I was thinking on it and I was like, damn, well, that's cool to notice, because I've been doing a big focus of mine for the past at least a year, just for me personally, has been about full-time management of like my inner world, as I call it, which is just your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, like really tuning into like, what am I telling myself about myself? What am I believing about myself? How am I relating to myself on a daily basis? Am I making my life easier or harder? Am I speaking to myself in a kind, respectful, supportive way, or am I tuning into the bitch nasty? And it's so exciting to see direct evidence of like, oh, it's paying off. And I get so many questions from people about like, how do you actually start to change that? How do you actually shift that? And I want to give you something to play with and work with, because I think that this is really valuable. So I want you to imagine your inner world, right? And like I said, it's comprised of thoughts and feelings and beliefs and stories about yourself and all this stuff and how you relate to you. That's your inner world. And actually picture it like it's like a globe, like a planet, right? And there's like countries, and there's the countries that are part of larger continents, and there's land masses, and there's water, and it's like it's a fully developed world that you go and you hang out in different parts in. And I want you to, as you're just imagining it and visualizing it for yourself, just tune in and notice, oh, there are some countries that are bigger than others. And I want you to imagine that in these different countries that take up different amounts of space, they speak different languages. And for, you know, the first however many years, the vast majority of my life, I was hanging out in this country, speaking this language in my inner world of bitch nasty and meanness and self-criticism and bullying. And that was the only language that I really knew how to speak, because I hung out in that country, in my inner world. That was where I lived. I lived there, and the only language I knew, having lived there, was bitch nasty. Mean, not nice. Just say shitty things, no matter what. I could have run 10 miles and done like 6-minute miles, and it wouldn't have been good enough, because that's the only language that they speak in that land. In the land of like self-criticism and inner bullying and being hard on yourself. That's the only language they speak there. So it doesn't matter what you do. If you are hanging out in that land, if you're in your inner world, and that is where you are positioned in that country, just know that's the language that you're speaking. It took a really long time for me to even realize, oh, that's just the language that I've learned. That's just the language that I'm speaking. I have just learned to relate to myself in this way. This is my mother tongue, so to speak. But, oh my gosh, there are these other countries around that I can visit, that I can travel to, where they speak other languages that are right now foreign to me. The land of being kind to yourself. Whoa, don't understand that language, don't know how to speak it yet. The land of being patient with yourself. Fucking foreign AF. I don't know how to be patient with myself. The land of being gentle with yourself. The land of being honest with yourself, but not harsh, because that's an important thing too, is being able to be honest. And if you don't do a good job, or if you kind of suck, you want to be able to just assess it, but not be an asshole. as many of us are accustomed to being with ourselves, is to be, just like nasty and mean and self-criticizing. So there's this huge landmass that most of us hang out on, called the land of self-criticism and bullying. And we have to metaphorically travel to these other countries and allow ourselves to learn these new languages. Because you don't learn a new language by hanging out in the same town, in the same place, in the same country, where the only language that's spoken in there is nasty, mean harshness. You have to say, okay, when I catch myself in that land, in that space where I'm speaking that language, because it's so familiar to me, I'm gonna catch myself speaking that way to myself a lot. I have to go over to these other little countries, and I have to pick one, and I have to say, okay, if I was in the land of like kindness and patience, how would I speak to myself right now? What is the language here? Because it's not gonna sound like anything I've ever said to myself before. It's gonna feel weird. And it's gonna feel like marbles in my mouth. It's not gonna come out naturally. I'm not gonna be fluent in it for a long time. But if you travel to these other countries enough, and if you fucking get the stamps on your inner world passport, and you practice speaking these other languages just with yourself, you don't even need a study buddy. You don't have to sign up for a class. This all exists in here, y'all. And it is just you being aware and being conscious and making choices. What land am I in? What language am I speaking? If you do it enough, you will start to gain fluency in these other languages. And here's the other cool thing, is you start realizing, wow, these other languages feel so much better to speak than my mother tongue of being shitty, nasty, unkind to myself. I love speaking the language of kindness with myself. I love being gentle with myself. I love speaking to myself in an honest, fair way, and not an unkind, nasty way. But we have to practice going to these other places inside of us. And it's really hard, because a lot of the times that language, the language of nasty, is like all that we fucking know. And to think about speaking this other language, we tend to think, well, I don't know how to do that. And it really is because it's like learning a new language. It's learning a new way to relate to yourself. It's like learning a new culture. You know, like it's the difference between going on a run and focusing on how fat and slow you are, and going on a run and being really like warm and encouraging of yourself. Two completely different experiences. And for a really long time, I didn't even know that the other was available to me. But evidently it has become available to me without me even realizing it, because I've just been practicing it in all these other areas of my life. So choose one area of your life where you want to just start practicing a new fucking language. And you want to start noticing, how do I speak to myself? What stamps do I want to put on my passport? Because the land of bitch nasty, self-criticism, we've hung out there long enough. It's time to start traveling. What are the other countries you want to visit in your inner world? There are endless amounts. Enthusiasm, that's a big one that I've talked about before, right? Support, that's another one. Being curious, yeah, being kind, being gentle, being easy. Think of them like these other places that you're visiting. And don't expect yourself to be really good at the language just yet, because you won't be. But if you practice, you will get better, because that's how everything is. And pretty soon, you'll catch yourself in an environment where normally you would be a real hard ass on yourself, or you wouldn't think that you would have your own back, and you'll notice, wow, at some point in time, I became friends with me in here. And it feels so good. So please take this and play with it and utilize it and practice it today, starting now, no more. We've hung out in that land for long enough. Time to travel. I hope that you really enjoyed this and get something out of it. I'm always coming up with new little metaphors and tricks for us. So if this really resonated, let me know. My camera overheated because that's becoming like a full-time thing now. It's fine. It's fine. I really hope that you're having a great day, night, week, wherever you are. If you want to be on my email list, the link is down in the description box, amyyoungcoaching.com. We have so much fun over there. You can also subscribe to my channel so we can keep up with each other on a regular basis. That would be cool, neato. And until next time, just, yeah, get some stamps on your passport, take it easy, be kind to yourself. I love you, and I'll see ya.